Well, good morning, everybody. It is late November. We're just about 4 days away from Thanksgiving, and we're in Jacksonville, Florida. I've just launched my boat at our neighborhood ramp right here on Fulton Cut, just on the south shore of the river across from Blunt Island. The water's cooled off and the trout have been biting. I went about a week ago, did real well. I didn't have the camera with me, so anyway, we're going to go out today and see if we can't catch some more trout, although it's close. So we are back here in Clapboard Creek. It's an extensive area of marsh and water, and got to come up here and explore sometime. Just be real careful. At a low tide, we are just past low tide. There are some areas in here that are exceptionally shallow. So the fishing conditions today are air temperatures in the mid-60s at the moment. Water temperature back here in the creek's about 62.5 degrees. It was actually 65, almost 66 out in the main river channel. So the water has cooled off a lot. We're anchored up in 8 feet of water, and we are going to fish with live shrimp under a Cajun Thunder float, and also we're going to be using this mirror lure here that has proved very effective back here for trout. So anyway, we are going to start off this morning with some live shrimp under this float. You hook them right under the horn, being careful not to put the barb through that dark little spot. That's their brain. That'll kill them instantly. And then you're fishing with dead bait, so that's no good. So tide's coming in right now, and it's starting to move fairly good, so we are going to just let the tide move that little cork along. We're in about 7 feet of water. This Cajun Thunder float has some beads on it, and it rattles if you give it a little twitch. Let's go ahead and throw it back up in shallower water. See how we do. And I have been fishing this area of Northeast Florida for over 50 years. And when I was younger, I used to think that if you weren't getting any bites, that the fish were here, they were just not hungry and probably just needed to be patient and wait. And that works sometimes, but I've gotten to the point now where give it 5-10 minutes. If I haven't put a fish in the boat, I'm going to move on to a different spot, because my theory now is the fish just aren't here. All right, so I've been trolling to my next spot, and looks like we've got a trout on here. We've got something on. Oh yeah. So let's see what we got here this morning. Got a decent sized trout. That might go 15, but I'm going to put a little more slack in the line so I can get him unhooked. All right, he's hooked in several places, so let's see if we can't release him unharmed. There we go, got one out. Tell you what, these treble hooks scare me to death. I just know one day I'm going to end up with one in my hand. All right, so quick release, and we will put the boat back in gear. Throw this little artificial lure out there and see if we can't catch another one. So they say the best lessons are learning from somebody else's mistakes instead of having to make them yourself. So I'm going to give you some heartfelt advice about fishing these creeks if you haven't traditionally done that, and that is, if you run aground, which you most certainly will if you're back here at the lower stage of the tide, check the consistency of the bottom. Take a push pole or a paddle and just poke the bottom and see if it's firm, because a lot of places back here it has this real soft, really deep mud. And I was fishing a creek on an outgoing tide, which I shouldn't have done because I was unfamiliar with the body of water down near the Butler Boulevard Bridge, and got on the bottom, realized the tide was going out pretty fast. I needed to get out of there. So I jumped out of the boat thinking I would push it off, and I actually went to my chest in that soft black mud. And I was by myself, like I am a lot of times, and it was really difficult to get back in the boat. And I managed anyway. There's a lot of activity back here. I see a lot of fish moving around on the surface, but haven't managed to scare up one just casting and reeling. Literally just put the lure back out, and I've got another one on already. And this one feels like it might be a little bit bigger than the last one. He's tugging a little harder. I love trolling these creeks real slow with this one particular lure. I have very good luck with it. And we've got another trout. So things are working well today. Another release. Oh, buddy. Got hung up again. All right. All right. So just like that, we've put two in the boat in the last maybe 3 minutes. Head back. Despite fishing this area for decades, I am no expert, don't claim to be, but I do enjoy sharing information with other fishermen, especially beginners, in hopes that maybe they can enjoy the sport a little bit more. The last bit of advice for fishing this area of Clapboard Creek is get a shallow draft boat. You don't want to come up here in a bigger boat. It's just too shallow and too many oyster bars. I'm fishing out of an 87 stump knocker, and I don't mind if I bump into a shell bar or two. And you might want to have a chart plotter. As you can see from this video, it is quite confusing and complicated back here. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Well, the fishing isn't quite as good as I'd hoped it would be, but I caught some fish. And my wife just texted and she's almost back to the house, so I'm going to run back, pick her up. We're going to take advantage of this beautiful day and go have lunch or early dinner at Palms Fish Camp. So anyway. Hey, good looking, you want to go on a date? You going to go to lunch with me? Huh? I will pick you up. I'm going to come into the little slip. And just like that, we're at our favorite waterfront restaurant.